Now the straights are curved, so you can be smoother on the straights of the wheel. So not on straights. But anyway, we're starting the race now. We have an awful camera angle. Never mind, we got a good one. The lights are counting down now. Can Legend seal the Division 3 championship? The lights are out, and we are away. Look like a bit of a long hole in the grid. Let's have a look at Gregor's start. Ryan's had an excellent one. Gregor's and Legend going side by side, are they? Now Legend breaks a bit later, tries to get back past Ryan. And Ryan and Legend going side by side, but Legend, I think he's had a bit of an illegal overtake. He did go off track to try and get that position on Ryan. And that meant that Gregor's got right up behind him, so Legend has lost the lead. And Ryan, on the medium compound tyres at the start of this race, is your race leader. He's in an absolute commanding position here.
One man who didn't get a good start though was David Chicken Rosie. He had to go basically straight on at turn 1 to avoid his teammates. That's not what he wanted at all.
Indeed, he's now battling it out for last position, side by side with Warhead. As a big gainer on lap 1, actually. It's been to Mole. He's up 3 places from P8 to P5, and he was pressuring the back of Marsh, actually. He was right on the back of Marsh and really looking forward to, really looking to try and gain some positions.
Joshua Smith actually down to P6 as well, side by side.
Yeah, side by side. Is Dan going to hold it in? No, Josh is going to take the place. So Josh, of course, with that grid penalty he suffered, is on a bit of recovery. But here we go, though. The championship leaders, the championship contenders going side by side into the final corner on lap 1. It's happening immediately. Legend keeps the position. Gregor's trying to hold it round the outside. And this is, oh my god, this is going to be excellent stuff if this continues on for the rest of this race. Legend and Gregor's absolutely nothing to separate them. Marsh is potentially going to get involved as well. He's going to go down the inside of Gregor's, is he? Nothing's better of it, but that did force Gregor's to brake late. And he's made a bit of hassle for that. And that's allowed Tamol to get through. Tamol, excellent opportunistic driving from the Ferrari driver off Tamol up into P4. He's having an exceptional race so far.
Indeed he is. What a start from Tamol then. Sticking to the back of his teammate Gregor's is still fighting his championship rival, LSW Legend, but Legend actually got the start. Quite not. A fantastic getaway and better reactions than Legend. He's just keeping the lead at the moment.
Indeed. And on those medium tyres, they're only going to get better and better as the race goes on. As I think there's been a moment for Josh. I don't know whether he's had a bit of a spin, but Josh has gone off track and he's dropped down to P9. So he shows some good pace in qualifying, but he's really having an absolute shocker at the moment, Josh. As all of the top 5 are within the same DRS train. And going on to the next lap, if they stay within it, that's where they're going to stay for the majority of this race. This is going to be a very, very exciting rest of this race. Legend obviously is going to be a bit quicker than Ryan R due to that softer rubber, and potentially he's going to try and put a car between him and Gregor's. Legend will know that if he wins this race, then he is champion. And that is exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to get up the inside of Ryan into turn 1. Is Ryan going to fight it? No, he's not. So Legend slots into P1. And Gregor's is right on their tail, though. It is.
Marsh and Tamol battling for P4. It's looking side by side.
Oh, they're losing each other all the time here, but Tamol keeps the position excellently as Russell and Warhead are in the pits on lap 1. Lap 2, sorry. But here we are, the first activation of DRS. You can see the rear wing open for Ryan R and Gregor's, and here we are. This is about. Oh, there's a big crash. There is a huge crash. BCFC Josh has been caught up in it. Big Bag has been caught up in it. Roscoe's been caught up in it. I think Blocks managed to escape without and got all the way up into P8 because of it.
You mentioned earlier on.
Wow, I don't know what happened there.
There was a spin at that hairpin, and because it goes off in this division, it's going to be unavoidable. And Marsh has just lost his footing completely now. And that is going to see a lot of people peel into the pit lane at the end of this lap.
Yeah. Absolute disaster. As here we are, the battle for the lead. Look at this. 3 cars separated. Well, they're not really separated by anything, are they? As Legend did not break the DRS, and so now Gregor's and Ryan are battling at it, and Gregors looks to have taken P2. Can Gregors break later than Ryan? He can. He can take the position, and Gregors is up into P2 behind Legend. So this is going to be a straight fight between the championship leaders here, as a couple of other drivers, of course, have that damage. And this is a straight fight for the title. Can Legend get out that DRS? If he can, then that is going to be advantage Legend for the championship.
He's not having a good day at all. After that collision,
he really
is tired as well, so he's had enough.
Yeah, speeding in the pit lane usually, after getting damage, usually results in a retirement in the pits, and that is what happened.
Down to 13 now.
Indeed we are. As Legend, he has broken the DRS here actually. He has broken the DRS of Gregors, and wow, this is very, very key for this race. You can see it's just 1.001 seconds the gap at the detection point. And that is massive for this race, although Gregors, with that slipstream, despite not having the DRS, is still staying with Legend, and
we get it out.
And the race is still on. The race is still well and truly on. As I'm hearing people cheering on Bag, apparently he did not get damage from that incident that he ended up getting affected in between Marsh and Tamol, I believe it was, but
Block and Rosie went on this battle for P6. Rosie just got down
got a penalty. Indeed they are. Indeed they are. That is very interesting stuff between them. They are quite a way off the lead already. And with that DRS that Gregor's got on the previous lap, it looks like he's here to stay against Legend. They both have a similar amount of ERS, and they're both using a lot of battery to try and... Well, Legend is trying to use it to keep away from Gregors, and Gregors is trying to use it to get in the DRS of Legend. At the moment, Legend looks to have it covered, but it is still very close between them, and strategy could be what decides this. Penalties could be what decides this, because it's staying very, very close between the two of them. As Ryan, he's dropped out of DRS, but of course he will have the advantage of the soft compound tyres later on in the race to make his moves back.
Block and Rosie are going to go out again for P6, it looks like.
Indeed, they are. Block around the outside of Rosary into the final corner. Is Rosary going to try and fight back? He is. Leaving each other a lot of room, and it looks like Block is going to get the position. But does he have the DRS? No, he doesn't. Rosary has the DRS instead. He's going to go to the outside, and he takes the position right back. And that is what this track is all about. It's all about the pass, then be repassed, and so on with DRS. And that's exactly what's happened between Block and Rosary. Rosary lost the place, and then regained it back on the start-finish straight. As Legend is very much pulling away from Gregors now. The gap is 1.7, 1.6 seconds. So as soon as Gregors lost that DRS, Legend has had the pace to kind of flex his muscles a bit and move clear. And at the moment, it is looking quite comfortable for that championship crown here. As we have a look at that beautiful broadcast shot of the final sector. Here, all of the lights flashing up, the view of the amusement park. Under the lights, and yes, we're continuing on. A little bit of a quiet race at the period of the race, but
not quite very quiet now though, between Warhead and Smith HP down. Maybe for 12th place, but the battle bike is for a podium position.
Indeed they are. They're going side by side here, are they? Smith and HP Dan's gone onto them hards for some reason. That's because he's sustained damage and Warhead's on the softs, I can see, so... was Block and Rosary swapping positions again as well. And Rosary once again keeps the place into turn 1, so... doing very well at the moment is a Rosary to keep Block behind.
Block is still looking at really few of the same. I think Russell and Roscoe and a bit of a switch around going to turn 1. They are Russell now into the points.
Indeed he is. I think they both pitted on lap 1, so...
Oh, a block of chicken rosary.
Both have a similar bit of strategy. Oh, they are. They really are.
Oh no!
Oh, and Rosary! Oh, that looked to me like Rosary, he was left enough room, but I think he just simply outbroke himself, locked up, understeered into Block, and that battle is over with a spin for Chicken Rosary. Yeah, nothing really Block could have done about that, but yeah, Rosary has taken a spin, and that is him dropping way down the field. Well, I say way down the field, he's lost 7 seconds, but he's only lost a couple of positions. As look at this three-way fight for the final point.
It is absolutely brilliant so far between Russell and Roscoe. Now Warhead joining the battle on his side in the Aston Martin. So I wouldn't be surprised if this battle goes on for quite a way through the race.
Oh, Roscoe's trying to hold it. And here we are. Here we are. Let's have a look at this scintillating battle for P10. An Aston Martin, an Alpha Tauri, a McLaren of Warhead, Russell and Roscoe. And they are battling hard, and Roscoe still keeps the position here. But is this going to be a decent bit of a run here into turn 1 for Russell and Warhead? Russell ducks to the inside and does go down the inside of Roscoe. And now Warhead follows. Oh, there's a bit of contact between Warhead and Roscoe, but it's all well and good, and positions stay as is.
Oh, and just a bit of a penalty for the blows there. You see how tricky it is. Through those corners, he's gone off again. Geez, Warhead is going to get his way up into P10.
Yes, he is. They're going to go side by side, and Russell has to back out there. Warhead into the points. As Gregors started to reel in Legend a bit here. After those first few laps where it looked like Legend had a bit better pace, Gregors is now back within the second.
Josh going at it again into the P6. Another battle that's going on for positions between these two. But Josh is going to get a good exit out the final corner. It looks like they're very close to the Alpha Tauri. DRS. It's for the Alpine. And he's getting going down to turn 1.
All Block defending very hard to the inside. Potentially going to mean that he's compromised into turn 1, and indeed that is what happened.
Three-way battle's going on again.
Josh, an easy move. Oh, I thought that was going to be contact there. Again, there's wheel banging between them, but they're all escaping without damage. It's great fighting between these guys for a P10 spot. As Russell's now going to go down the inside of Warhead, but he's outbroken himself. Is he going to keep the place? Oh, Roscoe's just appeared. He's involved with Warhead, and then all of a sudden Roscoe just appeared. Just appeared there, but could not make the move. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, Block has lost it.
Kept it out of the wall. I don't know how. He's completely done a whole pirouette, but has somehow missed the barrier.
Yeah, that is... Yeah, you had another moment, and this is what you're going to get on this track. Lots of moments between different drivers, and... Oh, speaking of a moment, yeah, Warhead and Roscoe, how are they not round? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea, but they're fighting really, really hard here, and... Yeah, I mean... I'm going to be honest, this isn't very clean, but it's fun. And Warhead, Roscoe and Russell still fighting it out for that P10 spot. Roscoe has the advantage of not having a penalty yet, but... Yeah, they're fighting hard, and now has Block speed into the pit lane.
Maybe he did pick up damage.
Maybe he did.
He did. I thought he
So
missed a
Roscoe
wall,
gonna go
but
around
no.
the outside.
He did get it.
Yeah, Roscoe going to go around the outside. Roscoe takes the position. Can Russell just get back into turn one? I reckon he can. Can Warhead get amongst it? He possibly can.
Let's get both of them.
DRS from Russell. Oh, darts to the inside. Warhead goes down the middle.
Now Block's going to join the battle.
Indeed he is. He's come out of the pits onto a fresh set of softs, and it's brilliant fighting. It's brilliant fighting here, and yeah, Block's come out right behind Warhead, so he's got on board with Block. I can see on his steering wheel he's got near enough a full battery as Block. You're gonna replenish quite a lot.
Roscoe's going to send it around the outside of Russell. Out ahead, he can make it work. Russell with the inside.
They make contact. This is great racing. This is great racing. Russell's still trying to hold in.
As he gets it. Come on, come into the pit lane. And there's 10 of those softs. Probably whack on a set of mediums.
Yes, they should quite comfortably make the end. I'm just going to change the tyres. Just see, yep, he's gone into a set of mediums. And Russell and Roscoe battling it out yet again. Oh, Warhead's right there still. Oh my word. Oh my word. Hopefully Block's not got damage again. But this is really, really messy. And once again, Roscoe leads into the final corner. But once again, I reckon Russell's going to have a run on him here.
This is brilliant racing between these two. Like Cop House and Chicken Rosary going to get involved.
And here we are, Russell up the inside, and Russell takes P8 now. This is now the battle for P8.
It's absolutely fantastic racing between these four.
Yeah,
hopefully we get it all the way to
so
the checker flag.
silly. Yeah, this is so silly, but it's so good. So fun to watch. We've now got a 5-car train, and yeah, I said that Jeddah would produce action like this, and yeah, we are seeing it. Roscoe's potentially going to have another go here at Russell. These guys don't care that there's a DRS train. They don't care that they're losing each other time. They're just having a load of fun, battling it out wheel to wheel. And Roscoe holds it around the outside of Russell, but Russell's still there. Russell's still there. Oh, they're still battling at it. They're still going at it. A little bit of a moment from Roscoe, and Russell fending him off, and all is going on here. We have Warhead still. We have Warhead getting his way into it. Roscoe's lost a load of positions from that contact. And here we are. Block's getting at it as well. Look at this camera shot. Look how many cars are in there. You can put a blanket over all of them, as Russell looks like he's been overtaken by both Block and Warhead. And they're still going at it. I know that the two leaders have just pitted, but look at this. Look at this. This is excellent stuff. Can Block get up the inside of Warhead?
This is brilliant. It's going to be 3-1.
Oh, Russell lunges it.
No.
Russell.
That's
Russell.
And Roscoe.
Oh, that was always going to happen at some point, and people have, and they have made contact, and that is potentially that battle mostly over.
One battle to watch on though now. After that pit stop, Gregors is now only 6/10 away from his championship rival.
Here we go, Fabrizio Romano.
Oh no,
as Gregors
right on. He's hit the wall this time. He has to damage.
Oh no. That is, this. This is great stuff. They're still going at it. Yeah, for the lower reaches of the points, and a few of them have got damage, but do they care? No, this is a lot of fun. You see Russell cutting the track there, and Roscoe trying to get past him. Can he do it? He's using a bit of his battery, and yes, he can. He's made the move stick. Oh, but he's had a little bit of a wiggle on exit. You know what? Russell's going to go back past him, is he? No, he pits because of his damage, of course, yes. But now let's turn our attentions. We've had some fun there watching the battle for P10. That was a lot of fun. But now let's have a look at the battle for what will be the effective lead of the race between Legend and Gregors. Ryan's picked up a couple of penalties. He is going to charge on the softs, but it might be too little too late for him.
I wonder how clean this battle will be, because at the end of the day, this could be for the World Championship in Division 3.
It very well could be. Very well could be. Nothing to choose between them. As Legend, he decides to let Gregors go here. And he wants the DRS as Legend, I think. I think he wants the DRS. He tucks in behind Gregors and going around the outside here into turn 1, and he's made the move stick again. And there we are. That is the first switcheroo of positions as Ryan and Josh.
Ryan's had damage apparently.
That is the first switcheroo. Oh, that partly explains the lack of pace that he was having compared to the top two, because he did look quite compared to them. There was that moment when they were going 3 wide. I wonder whether he picked up damage there. He's done very, very well to do what he's done with that damage.
See, we're not the only ones enjoying this race in the chat. We've got people enjoying the race as well. So brilliant race from Business Assassin and SLR Southerner. This is a fantastic race so far.
And G Chards is also commenting on how good a race this has been. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet because Legend and Gregors, they're quite far clear of the rest now. But they're going to be going at it for P1 for the rest of the race here. The DRS zone here. Gregors activates the DRS. Look how much he gains on Legend from doing it. Is Legend going to let him go again, or is he going to keep the lead into turn 1? I think he's going to keep the lead into the final corner at least. And is this going to just potentially be a bit of a cat and mouse game between the two of these drivers here for the rest of this race?
Definitely could be. 10 laps to go now in this race. Half a second, the gap between the two. They've both got quite a lot of battery capacity. Saying that, Legend was only 60% Gregors. It's on full, so he's got quite a lot to burn.
Indeed he does. Could be advantage Gregors, as he is going to be able to stay within the DRS. As I said, it is quite easy to do so. As Big Bag is compromising Ryan's race a bit. Big Bag fighting it out. Gets his elbows out and makes an excellent move into turn 1, showing how powerful that DRS is, and well and truly holding his own against Ryan, who showed some fantastic pace in qualifying.
Oh, he's at the back of him.
Oh, he's at the back of him. Ryan is at the back of Big Bag 92, and Bag gets up a penalty. Oh, there's a bit of contact as well between them.
That is close, not even more to
a
the
little
race
bit of afters from
well.
a collision. Indeed it is.
Ryan going to go for it.
Yeah, that is absolutely nothing to separate them. It's Ryan and Big Bag battling still. Ryan does take the position. And now Gregors Legend. They're swapping positions again. Here we are. Gregors takes the lead of the race, going into the final corner.
Oh, he's hit the wall.
But he has a bit of... Oh, that's going to allow Legend to get straight back past him into turn 1. It's exactly the same thing as we saw on the previous couple of laps. And Legend retakes the lead.
How many more times are we going to see that till the end?
It's Big Bag. Is he going to now try and get back past Ryan? He's using a lot of battery. He's got his ERS. He ducks to the inside, does Big Bag. And outbreaks Ryan and takes the position. This is an absolute ding-dong battle here, and Ryan, he took the risk of starting on the mediums.
Oh, no!
Oh, they've made contact! They've made contact! Oh, they've made contact, and that's not the first time they've made contact in this battle. They're potentially both going to have damage. And they've dropped way down the field. And they're going to drop way down the field with that damage if they do. At least one of them surely does, but Big Bag and Ryan have hit each other And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of that. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that, but that is not what we want to see between the two of them. As I think they're going to resume their battle here. Oh, Ryan R makes contact with him as Legend and Gregors once again swapping positions.
Going again, going into turn 1.
Yes, and he's got him. So here we are, Big Bag and Ryan yet again. Fighting it out, going into the last corner. And it looks like they've both got away relatively unscathed. And yeah, they're going to battle it out yet again. Big Bag to the right-hand side. Who's going to take the position here? I think it's going to be Ryan. So Ryan does now take the position and has finally moved up ahead of Big Bag, but yeah, that's definitely an incident that's going to be looked at.
And penalties as well, as it stands, it's not going to help him at all. He's on 11, and after that it might be more. So like I said, we'll see what the stewards say.
I tell you, has no penalties. I tell you, has no penalties. He gained massively from the safety car again.
Mr. Maxwell.
Maxwell, indeed. Oh, as Gregors has lost DRS.
Has.
Gregors has lost DRS of Legend. Legend and Gregors battling at it. But very, very close.
The other two that were battling is Roscoe and Russell. For like the millionth time this race.
Indeed they are. But yes, that is very... very interesting.
Said about Maxwell with the safety car. I'd say the safety car is pretty common, but I think we've only seen one so far, and that was in the Division 2 race. Surprisingly, it's very rare to get a safety car then, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, to DNF on this track, it's quite easy to pick up damage, but to DNF...
Oh, and there is a DNF, as soon as you say that.
You need to do what Russell does.
Or
Ryan's done.
Oh, that's an interesting place for Russell, unless he's had contact. He looks like he's just gone straight on.
Did Ryan retire in the pits?
Yes.
Did Ryan retire in the pits, or has he crashed on pit exit? Because his car's not moving. So I think Ryan might have pitted and then crashed on pit exit. I don't
think so. It looked pretty near the Haas garage, but it's fairly near the end of the pit lane. That's an interesting one, but we didn't get a safety car, but 2 DNFs in the space of a few seconds. But I'm still interested about Russell's crash. It was very interesting. It just looked like he went straight onto the hairpin.
Yeah, I'd quite like to have a look at that, because that is very bizarre. That kind of space. I mean, you don't like to accuse someone of anything, but...
Oh, and interestingly as well, Gregors is now battling DRS of Legend again.
Indeed he is. This is changing all the way. But yeah, and yeah, I mean, talk about commentator's curse. We're talking about how hard it is to crash on this track and actually retire from it. And then Russell just does that 30 seconds later. So thank you, Russell. That is how you crash at Jeddah and retire from the race. Yeah, because like what I was going to say is like the walls are close. However, because the walls are so close, it's like just naturally the way the track is. If you spin, you're not going to spin in such a way that means that you total your car. You're going to potentially only lightly graze the barrier, or you're going to just simply get wing damage from turning in too early on a hairpin on a chicane. Sorry, and yeah, but Russell has crashed and is out of the race.
I do believe if the race does end like this, we are going to get our second world champion this season, so and I believe Legend will win the championship as it stands.
Indeed, indeed, and if Gregors wins, then the gap between the two of them will be down to 16 points. And 16 points, all that is a top 2 for Gregors if Legend has a disaster, so firmly puts pressure on Legend. As look at this, they're slowing down to give each other DRS. this.
I mean, they've got the time to.
This is very
18
sneaky.
seconds.
This is very sneaky stuff. As yes, they are 19 seconds ahead of the battle for P3.
Which is also
As
going
Tamold
on.
and Josh look like they're doing exactly the same thing. Josh has chosen not to get DRS. Josh has chosen not to overtake and instead get DRS. Oh! Is that giving him damage?
I'm not sure, but that was a fairly big hit with the wall for Gregors. You can see him understeering there. I'm not sure if he has got damage, but it has allowed Legend
I think that looks
back
like
into the lead.
It looks like he does. It looks like he does. Looking at his car, because he lost the position to Legend a couple of seconds after he hit the wall. You can't see it on his car, but
Has that just handed the championship to Legend then tonight?
oh, it does look like actually though in the middle sector there, Gregors is just about fine. We're gonna at the moment it looks like Gregors has got away with one there. He is understeering quite a lot, but it could be for a number of reasons, but he is staying within the DRS of Legend, and that's the important thing. He needs to absolutely cane his battery here, because if he does have a little bit of damage he doesn't know about, then he doesn't want Legend to get away in that first sector.
Here we go again.
As if, yep. It looks like Legend has got the DRS. He knows exactly where the detection point is. And yep, he's switched and taken the position again.
We might have another battle as well for P9 going on between Warhead and Smith HP Dan. He's closing up, but he's not close enough to go for a move.
Yes, indeed. But I'm just going to keep an eye on Gregors here, because this is important.
It's going to be very close. 6 tenths is the gap. They've got DRS zone coming up in 2 corners time. Gregors has gone wide again.
He does look like he's got very minor damage. I'm just looking at his car, just the way it's behaving, especially in the third sector and in the end of those S's. That understeer, I can't see that as anything other than a slight front wing damage.
Even if he does, he's doing very well to still keep within the DRS.
Yeah, that is a good question actually. Of how is Legend not breaking clear of that DRS if Gregors does have that damage? It's brilliant from Gregors, really.
Totally down.
And once again, he does keep the DRS. He does keep the DRS, and he's going to gain massively. But to be honest, it's only a matter of time, I think, here.
Ooh, and Legend got very close to the wall there, and I think he did actually graze
did.
it, and he's going to lose a lot of time because of that. Gregors is really going to close up, and we might see the change to the lead once again.
Is he going to make a move here? I think he might be. He's going to go down the inside here into turn 1. And he does take the place.
It's going to ramp up now. Final 3 laps. This is where it's going to get very, very tasty.
Indeed it is. I can't help but feel that Legend is possibly toying with Gregors a little bit here. Having a bit of fun. And I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, but it does look like Legend is just trying to have some fun here. I feel like he's shown that he could break away and potentially has chosen not to, but it's giving us a fantastic race, that is for sure. And Legend is, yeah, he's basically pushing Gregors around the middle sector now. The gap just 0.2 of a second between the championship leaders.
One penalty could change all of this. Both are on 2 warnings currently, so could easily pick up a penalty.
Oh, they're going to go side by side there. No, they're not. And Gregors is the one that goes wide and makes the mistake there. As Gregors hits the wall yet again.
We might get another switch around
But
for
I'll
the
tell you
lead.
what with Legend, though, he's really not running. He's not got much ERS at all. He's only on about 40%. I can see on his steering wheel.
Gonna get it.
But he is going to make the move down the inside. Yes, he is. With DRS, he is going to make the move stick into turn 1.
But the narrow from Gregors there, the exit of turn 3. Turn 2, sorry. And he's lost a bit more time, so he needs to try and stay within the DRS range of Legend here if he wants any chance of winning this race.
Indeed. Indeed, that's what it's all about. Being in the DRS on the final lap would give him a chance, as he's running very, very close to not getting to getting another warning.
Like I mentioned, must have one more warning for either driver, and it is going to be a penalty, and that could be very, very crucial.
Speaking of penalties, pretty much everyone else other than Legend and Gregors are getting one.
And Legend has pulled that 1 second gap now. But his DRS.
The detection point is just after this
yellow flag.
chicane
What's
though.
happened? It's Chicken Rosary. He's gone round.
Yeah, Chicken Rosary is round. But I'm keeping an eye on this because this is crucial. This 1 second gap is crucial. If Legend stays ahead of this 1 second after the final corner, because that is the detection point, then Gregors will not have DRS, and I think he's just got it. So I think he is still in here, just about. And Legend, 11% ERS on his steering wheel. He's got nothing left. Could he potentially, after all of this, end up being a sitting duck for Gregors?
Definitely 2 laps to go now. 0.6 of a second is what separates the two. And whether we're going to go to Abu Dhabi to decide the World Championship in Division 3, where it's going to be settled here in Jeddah tonight.
Yes, this is the championship fight. As it stands, Legend is the champion, never mind. As it stands, is going to the next round. As Legend has picked up a time penalty, he's picked up a 3-second penalty. And if he does have a bit of pace in reserve, he needs to show that now. It looked like Gregors himself went just about off track as that happened, but he's hit the wall again, Gregors. Oh, is that nerves starting to settle in? Is that a bit of nerves?
Definitely could be, because we're about to go on to the final lap anytime soon. We're the millisecond now, and 9/10 is the gap. Legend with 20% ERS, Gregors with half his battery remaining, could definitely still stay within this 1 second gap.
Indeed he could. On to the final lap here, and it would take a Gregors penalty here for Legend to be sealed the championship in this race. At the moment, Gregors will win the race, and it will go to Abu Dhabi. Onto the final lap here. And yeah, the gap is 1.1 seconds. That is within that 3 seconds. Gregors, it doesn't look like he's going to pass Legend on track. Legend has broken clear the DRS. But the key thing here is can Gregors avoid that penalty on the final lap? Can Gregors keep it out of the walls on this final lap? If he can do either of those things, then he will be able to take this to the final round in Abu Dhabi.
And he doesn't lose 1.6 seconds, he will be fine.
He is so cautious. But the thing is, the gap is going up. It is going up and up and up. The gap's now 1.7 seconds. So Legend is giving it absolutely everything he's got. He would have had a couple of warnings spare. And the gap is continuing to go up. So here we are here, yellow flag in sector 3, something's gone on.
Yeah,
I don't really care about that.
Yeah,
I care about the gap between Legend and Gregors. It's 1.7 seconds at the moment. But at the moment, that is not enough. And in no way is he going to gain that much time on the final straight. I do think it's going to be Gregors winning this race here. As Legend is going to come round the final corner. He is going to take the victory on track. But the title will go to Abu Dhabi, as Gregors UK is going to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and bring the gap down to 16 points between the two of them going into Abu Dhabi. They've been a class above the rest of this race. They've not made any mistakes apart from that last couple of lap penalty for Legend. But they do get 1-2. BCFC Josh is going to get P3. Does he keep that after penalties? Yes, he does. Tamol gets P4.
Leave that puts Gregors and Legend on equal wins now with 4 apiece, I think it is, for the season.
does as Legend has joined the party. But we're just waiting for the rest of the field to cross the line. Big Bag crosses the line in P5. Block is going to beat Maxwell on track, but Maxwell is going to get him on penalty, so he's going to probably get P6 here, the Aston Martin driver. Crosses the line now as Block set the fastest lap whilst that was going on as well, actually. So an extra point to go to boot. As Smith P. Dan comes across in P8. Does Warhead beat him on penalties? Yes, he does.
I mentioned as well, but I'm going to give my driver today, I don't know about you, to the Big Bag. Not 14th, maybe we're up to P5 it was in the end. In 9th position.
It's a difficult one.
No, it's going to be tough. It's going to get tough.
Of course he did have that incident with Ryan.
It was
and yeah, it's a question of whose fault that was as well. I'm sure that will be investigated in some way, but yes, your podium are Legend, Gregors, and BCFC Josh. And the key thing after that race, the title is going to the final round in Abu Dhabi. The gap is 16 between Legend and Gregors. And, well, if Gregors manages to get top 2 in the final race, pressure is, of course, on Legend to finish in the points. We've got them all in the party, so how do you want to do the interviews?
I don't mind however you'd like to do them, but just please make sure that you do tick your boxes before we do start interviews.
Yes, so I'll take P3 and P2 and you take P1. We'll do that. So yeah, starting off with Josh, and well, you've had a very, very hectic race. Lots of moments. Seems like you were caught up in a few incidents. Of course, had that 5-place penalty from a collision in qualifying as well, but you've come up across the line in a podium position. So first of all, congratulations on the podium. And secondly, how do you feel about it?
It was just scrappy throughout. I had a really good start off the grid, and then I was left no room, and then that led to me kind of hitting Chicken, and he kind of spun. But it was more of a racing incident, and then obviously there was that big pile up that I got caught up in. That lost me a lot of time as well, so yeah, it was just scrappy.
Yes, of course. You did have those incidents earlier on in the race, and was there any point kind of midway through the race where you thought, "Oh God, I'm not gonna be in a good position here"?
Yeah.
Or what moment in the race did you realise I could get a podium here? And then cross the line, because in the end it was comfortable for you.
Yeah, as soon as I put on soft, I knew that I could gain on everyone else because I had the pace advantage. But yeah. That's when I realised.
Great race from you, though.
Cheers, man.
And now on to a Legend. And well, if it wasn't for that penultimate lap penalty, we would be saying LSW Legend, you are the Division 3 champion. So of course I've got to mention that it is going to go to Abu Dhabi, and you did win on track. So I mean, how do you feel after that? Are you a little bit disappointed, or is it just all focused now on the final race and just getting the points to get the job done? You will have a 16-point lead going into the final round. So yeah, just generally just talk us through it.
Well, 10, yeah, nah. Not happy with that, but you know, I'd love to see a race go to the end. I mean, I've been saying all season I'd like to have the season go to the end, so that wish just finally came true. In a way I didn't really want it, but you know, I don't know if I walk away with the Red Bull Constructor Div 3. I don't know if that's, you know, but
yes.
Yes.
But yeah, next race just head down, try and beat the Ferrari one last time, hopefully, without a penalty. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be more battles. Hopefully even more closer racing between me and Gregors, and hopefully we give a good show as a finisher for Division 3.
Yes, indeed. Of course you're going to be a bit disappointed, but yeah, I mean, like, as for the race today, we saw you exchanging positions an awful lot of times. It looked like a few times during the race you'd pulled away from him, but had just about broken clear of Gregor's DRS, but every time you did, it seemed like he was just about there again. And we saw a few times you electing to slow down on the final corner, or let yourself have DRS. Kind of just generally just talk us through your general short thought process of that race. Was there any point where you thought it could be a bit more comfortable than it was? Because it did look like a lot of the race, it was kind of just hanging in the balance between that 0.9, 0.8, 1.1, 1.2 kind of range. It was very, very close a lot of times to you breaking DRS. And yeah, just generally just talk us through your general thought process and how you just approach the race. And
Well, I was put in this similar situation around Austria where I've had Gregor's pushing me around the whole track. It was always 7 attempts until the last lap he tried a move but didn't kind of work out, so that kind of cost him that. But just felt, if he's going to get me, he's going to get me. So I just tried as much tactics as possible. That's why I was trying to go wide, just to think he's got me, I've had a mistake or something, and then just absolutely whiz past him. But I don't know if he was fuming with that, but he kind of clocked onto it one time where he, dislowed enough, just at enough time, and then he got the DRS for that. But yeah, I hope he's not fuming with me for doing that. I had to try all tactics to keep it.
Yeah, and of course. Yes, and of course, as well. Of course, I'd like to also say, well done, guys, for keeping it clean as well. It was quite a clean battle. No, of course, the two of you have come together a couple of times this season, but that did not happen today, and it was a very clean, enjoyable battle for the lead as well. I thought I'd add that.
Well, we had to make some battles and go into a mess, and then this one actually looked nicer.
Yes, and now to Gregor's for his perspective. So yeah, over to you, Corey.
Into on track, P1 after penalties. Gregor's UK, winner of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix in Division 3. Talk us through it. The championship obviously going to Abu Dhabi now, 16 points a gap. Obviously the pressure is on you to perform, but again, that's Saudi Arabia. What talks through your race?
Mate, I think I lost about 5 stone in sweat after that. It was just a case of keeping on Legend's tails all the way through. I mean, we've been racing quite a lot in the week, haven't we, Legend? And we've talked about this battle, that we can get it close on track, we can just keep it going. But yeah, like I say, when he kept dropping back and that, I was trying to read where I could go before I could get that last little bit of DRS down the straight. He just kept beating me through it. But I was resting on one morning with the last 6 or 7 laps to go, so I was right on the edge myself as well. But great race, Legend, mate. It was a tough one, that.
Cheers, lad.
Indeed, you're both in a very tough situation with warnings. Both of you having 2 warnings with multiple laps to go, and it was Legend that unfortunately did crack under pressure, and it was you that took the victory. So well done to yourself, and we're going to have another championship decided in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. And I'm also going to add something. Gregor's, of course, you are 16 points off now, and I think we heard you say a couple of times, specifically, in 2 of the last few rounds, essentially just completely writing yourself off, saying, "Oh, this is pretty much over," after some unfortunate incidents. But you're still in it, and it's 16 points going into the final round.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are the outsider, but how are you going to approach that final race? Do you think there's any chance? Do you think there's a chance of you winning it? How are you going to approach it? And yeah, how do you fancy your chances of beating this man that's in the party with you? Like how are you going to approach coming into it in second place?
Honestly, I think I'm going to need a miracle. To be honest, I'm just going to go full stack next week. It's going to be clear. It's going to be clean between us, but I'm just going to hammer that track this week and get done with this one today, and full send. But I think it's Legends to take. To be honest, I need a miracle.
Yes.
I see what it's like tonight. We're so evenly paced. No, I think he's got it, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of other very quick drive. There's of course a lot of other very quick drivers in Division 3 that could get up amongst it as well. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we have another Titanic finale. We have at least two championships, 3 if you include F2, going to the final round. And we have potentially another one tomorrow night as well. So Division 1 going to the final round, Division 3 is going to the final round. We're certainly very excited for those next week. Join us tomorrow for the penultimate round of the McEwen Division, where we could potentially see 3 of the 4 SLR F1 titles be decided on the final round. First time that's happened in SLR since I've been here, and I personally cannot wait for the title finales next week in Abu Dhabi. Thank you all for watching, and good night.